Okay, welcome to the regular meeting of the Town Council, Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. Margot Kay, take it away.
Okay, just for the benefit of the public, I'll take another roll call. Councilwoman Cotton.
Joining us.
We'll come back. Councilman Elms.
Present.
Councilman Foster. Okay, we'll come back. Councilman Iannacone. Councilman Iannacone.
Here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on mute. Here.
Councilwoman Mayer.
Here.
Councilman Silva. Councilman Silva.
I'm sorry.
Are you muted, Councilman?
Mr. Silva is present. I see him on the
Council President Armington.
here.
Okay, Councilwoman Cotton.
Present.
Okay, and I anticipate Councilman Foster will join us shortly. Mr. President, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. All right, so moving into a moment of silence. Followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get started, I have a couple of announcements this evening. Resolution R-122-2021 is being pulled from the agenda. The public hearing and adoption of ordinance O-15-2021 is carried to August 17th. And the introduction of ordinance O-18-2021 is carried to a special meeting on July 26th at 7:30 p.m. I see that Councilman Foster has joined us.
Yes.
Thank you. Before we get started, please be aware that public comment during the public hearing portions of this meeting will be moderated through the Zoom app. At the appropriate time, members of the public wishing to speak should indicate so by raising his or her hand in the app. You will find the raise your hand icon at the bottom left side of your screen. You may also raise your hand by pressing *9 on your telephone. When it is your turn, the moderator will send a signal through the app and ask that you unmute yourself so that you may be heard. To unmute yourself, please press *6 on your telephone. There are 4 items on the consent agenda this evening. Unless the member of council would like to address one separately, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will abstain from item number 4 since that application is requested by my church.
I'll make a motion to adopt consent agenda items number 1, 2, and 3.
I'll second.
Okay, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mayer,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries. On the adoption of item 4, facilities use request, Central Biblical Hope Day community event.
I'll make a motion to adopt number 4.
Second.
Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayer,
Yes.
Councilman Silva is abstaining.
Abstaining?
Abstain.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I'll open the floor for a public hearing on the 2021 Special Improvement District budget. Again, please raise your hand in the Zoom app to indicate that you would like to speak. If you join the meeting via telephone, press *9. Kindly state your name and address and limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Be advised that any derogatory comments targeting members of council and/or administration may be ruled out of order. No comments were received via email.
Councilman, I don't see any hands raised for public comment.
I will close the public hearing on the adoption of the 2021 Special Improvement District budget.
Okay, I will open the floor for public comment on any other matter.
The first public speaker is Carrie Lloyd. If you would please unmute yourself and state your name and address to the record, please.
Carrie Lloyd, 48 Georgian Road, Morristown. I just wanted to comment. I understand that this has been pushed to a special meeting for introduction of ordinance O-18 2021, but I'd like to encourage the council to vote against this pilot tax exemption for the Morris Street redevelopment, which essentially eliminates payment of taxes to our school district for 2.5 decades. The pilot would, as I said, eliminate property tax payments to our school district for 25 years while yet adding apartments that Morris School District students can live in. A child born in those apartments when they first open would graduate high school and many of them college before that redevelopment would start paying school district taxes. And it's the town residents, Morristown residents, that are going to be footing the bill for a development like this, not paying any school taxes. You know, we had the M Street pilot approved for 25 years, a little bit different in that that's office space, so can get that a little, but now we're asking and seeking approval on another 25-year pilot on a project that, what I recall in testimony, they said they would not be asking for this. And this adds the potential for students in our school district. And during this time, interest rates have fallen. The demand and interest in Morristown is still very strong. Why do we need to approve this? I encourage the council and the administration not to support this, to call their bluff. The worst thing that can happen is a couple years of finding a new redevelopment partner. The alternative is 25 years without school taxes and a continued precedence for every redevelopment project to ask for this pilot and not pay school taxes. So I appreciate your consideration and thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Lloyd.
Councilman, I don't see any other hands raised for public comment.
I will close the public hearing. Move on to council responses, public hearing comments.
I'll just say, Carrie, the meeting is rescheduled for 7:30 on July 26th. If you can, please tune in then, and please let anybody else you know that has an opinion on this to also join the meeting on the 26th, 7:30.
Okay, we'll move on to report of mayor and town officials. Mr. Mayor? Unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Yeah, I was muted. So, I think Mr. Lloyd brought up an interesting topic. The township did a great job explaining what pilots are and actually how they work. So it might behoove in the future that the council administration do a informational session on the pilots and what they actually are and how they actually work. So there's no misinformation on when it comes to school taxes, because they always get their taxes. So, but I'd be happy to help the council president if you want to facilitate something like that, like the township did, we can do that. Couple things. Want to mention the event that took place on the 26th down in Caldwell. It was Let's Come Together boxing event at Caldwell Playground, hosted by Coach O Boxing and Trinity Boxing and Wrestling. Was an outstanding event put on by that group. Damian Brown, Tyrone, Ty from the barbershop, Tyrone, they did a great job. There was other men and people involved, but look forward to more events like that. It was really, I was down there with Councilwoman Sandy Mayer. It was a lot of fun. It was the first event, and I look forward to several others. And the good news is the Housing Authority is moving on getting that boxing club reopened within their property, so we're looking forward to that. Also, there was a grand opening, for those who didn't attend, at the 95 Madison Avenue for the new pharmacy. A couple things. Saturday, it was a well-attended event for Stephen Wiley. For those who knew Steve, for how much he contributed to our community and outside our community, was the lawyer and very active in the merging of the school district 50 years ago, on top of doing several things outside of Morristown and the library and statewide. He's just his resume and what he's accomplished throughout his life couldn't be done on a page. It had to be put in a book. He really was a phenomenal human being, and really the epitome of what it means to really give back and to be part of something. And in attendance, Councilwoman Sandy Mayer. I don't think anybody else was there. Was anybody else there, Sandy, that I missed?
No.
No. So it was well attended, and a lot of funny stories. So it was good.
Just real quickly, just so everybody knows, his college advisor on one of the clubs was Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein gave him advice, and he picked him up for a meeting. That just blew my mind when I heard that.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
very, very, very interesting. I did post today about school, the 14th of July, which is tomorrow. There is a school bus driver job fair, so anybody you know that wants to maybe be retired and has a Class B CDL license, it's $30 an hour plus benefits. It's actually a pretty good job with driving the school bus. So they have a job fair at 120 Ridgedale Avenue. And then Saturday, the 17th, at 1 p.m., there is a Culture and Jam art show hosted by Wallaby-Low and Lee Lady Low. Let's come together. I probably got the names wrong, but let's come together at Caldwell Playground. That's Saturday at 1 p.m. and rain date is the 24th. And the two more things, Council President. One is, please, everybody, I posted today, be aware that the transmission rate has gone up a little bit on COVID-19. Variants are in the state of New Jersey. We've had a couple positives. We had 4 over the weekend. We had another one yesterday. So these are mostly hitting unvaccinated citizens. So I guess the answer to that is get vaccinated if you're not. And if you choose not to, protect yourself as you don't want to get COVID-19, especially with these new variants. But we are experiencing some cases in Morristown, but the countrywide and statewide are experiencing some positive COVID-19 variant cases. So just protect yourself at all times and get vaccinated if you so choose to. I want to read a proclamation into the record. It actually wasn't on the agenda. I gave the proclamation today to the individual and his wife. Desi was there, his wife wasn't, but I want to read this into the record like I normally do. So it's 2021 marks the 40th anniversary of the Grand Cafe located at 42 Washington Street, Morristown, New Jersey. The Grand Cafe is locally owned small business that has been a staple restaurant within the Morristown community for 40 years, offering a French and American fine dining experience. Owners Desmond and Alice Lloyd are experts at making patrons feel at home, and they remain outstanding members of our business community. The Grand Cafe has received numerous recognitions over the years, including the Zagat Survey 2009, 2010, 2008, 2009, all the way down to 2005. The 2004 Star Ledger Wine Spectator Award of Excellence, the American Academy of Hospitality Science prestigious Star Diamond Award from 94 to 2004, and special recognition by Morris Gourmet in July 2006. And Desmond Lloyd was honored as a Restaurateur of the Year by the New Jersey Restaurant Association. During the past 40 years, the Grand Cafe owners and staff have helped countless people make their life memories and celebrate momentous occasions. They really are second to none. Now therefore, I, Timothy P. Doherty, Mayor of the Town of Morristown, do hereby proclaim July 1st, 2021 as the Grand Cafe Day in the Town of Morristown, and I encourage residents, community leaders, and local businesses to pay special tribute and offer congratulations to the Grand Cafe on reaching a milestone. This is so rare in the restaurant industry. So I want to thank the Lloyds and their persistence of keeping their doors open, especially even through COVID and through all these years. 40 years to be in any restaurant business is a milestone by itself. But Desi and Alice and their family have always been an active part of Morristown and the county. And I do celebrate my occasions, anniversaries there, and it is a wonderful place. They're wonderful people, wonderful family, and I want to offer my congratulations to the Lloyds and for the Grand Cafe of 40 years of service to our community. Thank you guys very much. Real well appreciated. And I gave him that proclamation today, personally. So that's really, I think, it, Council President. I really don't have anything else other than keep your eye out for these storms as they roll through. We understand some places in New Jersey got 6 inches of rain last night. We did not, thank God, but yeah, these storms are coming fast and furious. And other than that, that's it. Thank you, Council President. Yep.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate the additional words. All right, moving on to council liaison reports. You're muted.
Okay, I want to report on MHA. The senior and family wait list is completed. 70% of vacant units are now ready to lease up to be occupied for the first time in almost a year and a half. Also, MHA is finally back to fully staffed maintenance post-COVID. A contractor has been hired to help turn around the vacant units. On the senior buildings, there are nice notes and very good news. The 3 senior buildings have enjoyed live programming concerts from MPAC. They have been well attended and appreciated, and more concerts are scheduled for the next few months. The Norwich, New Jersey, back in full swing, delivering fresh food once a week to our seniors. Bingo is up and running. Senior classes, exercise classes at 31 and 39 early resume already. And I think this is part of going back to normal and having all seniors vaccinated and the work that is being done at MHA. Major touch on the boxing program. And on that note, I have some news. The MHA will be signing a contract for the Frank Osborne Boxing Center, waiting a contract from Green Jerry Club Start. And also they have hired a contractor to refurbish the building. That work will take about 4 to 5 weeks, and the board approved $50,000 to the renovation or refurbishing of the Frank Osborne Boxing Center. So Morristown boxing will flourish once again, and for those fans, that's good news. That's all from me.
Thank you.
I can report just briefly on the Morristown Parking Authority. It's been relatively quiet. However, George Fiore has come out of retirement for a little bit in the interim to help them out until they find a replacement.
Thank you, Sheba.
Reference to the partnership meets tomorrow morning. They're got a full schedule of events. Meet Me in Morristown will be starting soon on Thursdays, and we will be approving their budget hopefully this evening with a vote.
Bobby, if you can find out, I know there's been sort of different opinions about the the use of on-street parking for restaurants and the effect of that on the restaurants, but also the effect potentially on retail. And it'd be great to have just some input from the partnership via you at the next council meeting, so we can
I will.
address that.
I will, but I will tell you that I don't know if everybody knows, but the barriers within the street, the DEP has pulled those permits. Those blockades in the street and those parking spaces will be freed up shortly. Jillian, do we have a date on that?
The barricades have actually already been moved. They picked up half of them this morning. The other half, which are occupying a couple spaces on South Street, are going to be picked up tomorrow morning. So all of the on-street parking spaces that were occupied by outdoor dining on South and Speedwell have been picked up. The only remaining in-street outdoor dining is on Blatchley in front of town.
Yes, and then the other waivers that we put in place for COVID for outdoor dining, I think our extension was only through the end of September.
Correct.
Good, thanks. All right, if there are no other council liaison reports, we'll move on to regular business. We have one ordinance for introduction.
That is correct. We have ordinance number O-17-2021, ordinance rescinding ordinance O-29-2014 and deleting a designated handicap parking space on Madison Street from section 7-40.2 of the code of the town of Morristown.
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance number O-17-2021.
Second.
Any comments or questions from council? On the introduction of ordinance O-17-2021, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Ordinance O-17-2021 has been properly introduced by title and will be considered further after a public hearing on August 17th. There is one ordinance for public hearing and adoption, ordinance number O-16-2021, an ordinance amending and supplementing ordinance number O-39-76, entitled Ordinance Creating the Southeast Morris County Municipal Utilities Authority.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number O-16-2021.
Second.
This time I will open up the floor for a public hearing on ordinance O-16-2021 only.
Council President, I don't see any hands raised for public comment.
Okay, we will close the public hearing for ordinance number O-16-2021.
Any comments or questions from council? Okay, on the adoption of ordinance O-16-2021, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster.
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. Councilwoman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Ordinance O-16-2021 is adopted. There are 8 resolutions on the agenda for consideration this evening. Would a member of council like to pull any for separate consideration?
Can I pull 117?
Can I pull 115?
Any others? With that, I would ask for a motion to approve 116-2021 and 118 through 122-2021 en masse.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
On the adoption of those resolutions, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-115-2021.
I'll make a motion to, you want to read it or?
I don't have to.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance, resolution R-115-2021.
I'll second.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes. This is the second time that the bid has gone out for Flexi Pave on the tree wells in the business district. And it's been rejected twice. So Jillian, can you just briefly explain what the process is moving forward?
Certainly, if we issue bids, properly issue the bids and they're rejected twice, the local public contracts law allows the town to negotiate with a responsible vendor to effectuate the contract within our estimated budget.
Okay, so we'll see this again at some point because at some point we'll negotiate.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Question.
On the adoption of resolution R-115-2021, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilwoman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-117-2021, resolution of the town of Morristown authorizing execution of a certain agreement with regard to canopy and cornice encroachments onto Tyler Place.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution R-117-2021.
I'll second.
Councilman Iannacone?
Yes, just one question on this. I'm sure this was totally vetted either by the planning board or the Board of Adjustment, but how intrusive is this on the right of way? Does it interfere at all with the streetway? That's the only question I had. I couldn't tell by the resolution itself.
No, my understanding is that these deal with the balconies on the the floors above the street.
Very good.
And because they're encroaching over the right of way, they're
Okay.
required to come to you for consideration.
How far out do they extend over the sidewalk?
I don't have that information.
Just curious.
I think it says 2 feet.
That sounds right. Oh,
That's what it says, and that's the regulation.
that's correct.
Yeah, that's what the canopy is, and then the cornice at the top extends 1 foot 5 inches.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Call the question, please.
Okay, on the adoption of resolution R-117-2021, Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Councilman Elms,
Yes.
Councilman Foster,
Yes.
Councilman Iannacone,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Silva,
Yes.
Council President Armington.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, that concludes the regular business. There is no unfinished old business. We have 2 items of new business. The first item is smoke-free parks by Councilwoman Cotton.
Yes, thank you, Council President. So I have a concern regarding smoking in parks. And while I do appreciate that the use of marijuana for medicinal purposes, and I do understand that it is legal to smoke. However, it is problematic when it's done in a park, a recreational area. And I am concerned for our children and seniors, as well as non-smokers. And that's not just for marijuana, it's also for cigarette smoke. I don't think there should be smoking in any parks. So to my understanding, it's not supposed to happen. And so I wanted to address that because I think it's something that constituents and visitors to our parks need to be reminded we just assume that people will be responsible and respectful. Yet, I've had several complaints about it.
Luana,
I wanted to address that and ask Jillian if she could shed some light on the ordinance that's already in place and how we plan to enforce it. I don't expect people to get arrested, but fines definitely need to happen if this continues.
Thank you, Tawana. Your reception was weak there. I think we all understood it.
Can you hear me? I just find
I think you need 5G, but
Okay.
we'll get
Oh
there
my
later.
gosh. I'm trying to.
You're much clearer now, Councilwoman.
Okay, but can you see me? I'm trying to figure out how to.
We cannot see you, but we can hear you.
Okay.
That's better.
There. All right, so I'm going to start that over. I don't know how much.
I think we got it all.
No,
Did you get that? Okay. If we could just have some clarity on the ordinance and, again, while I realize people are not going to get arrested, there is a fine, I'm assuming, and I think that that needs to be, people should be reminded of that. Because, we do expect adults to conduct themselves responsibly and to take the consideration of our children and the fact that people have the right to enjoy the park without smelling smoke of any kind, whether it be marijuana or cigarettes. So if we can just address that, I'd like to get some clarity on that ordinance and fines.
Councilman Cotton, I'm happy to address, since you originally raised this concern with us earlier this week, I've had conversations with our public safety director and our police chief about this very issue. I will tell you the Smoke-Free Air Act and other state statutes regarding smoking predate the cannabis laws and are really targeted towards tobacco smoking. So it's not as straightforward to enforce under those laws. Also, the Smoke-Free Air Act, for example, is really a public health law. So it's not intended to be enforced by the police. However, there are other towns who have enacted local ordinances to address this issue. And I think, I'm working with the town attorney to draft some language for your consideration in the near future in order to strengthen our ability to ensure that our residents are able to enjoy the park or parks without any kind of smoke. But that being said, our police department still will enforce the quality of life in the parks in the interim using the existing laws that are in place. You're really with the intent to ensure that the public is able to enjoy the park and not with the intent of punitive action. So as we continue to, as we finalize potential legislation for your consideration, I will make sure to stay in contact with you to make sure that addresses your concerns. And then we'll bring something back to the council as soon as we can for your consideration.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Julie. As I've reviewed it, there are approximately 225 of the 500 or so municipalities in state of New Jersey that have adopted some type of smoke-free park ordinance. We don't have that yet, and I think that's probably consistent with Councilwoman Cotton's desires. I think also in my review of the state legislature's enabling legislation for recreational marijuana, it specifically says that smoking of cannabis products in public right of way is not permitted, though it doesn't provide any consequences per se. So I think that's another area to look into in terms of additional legislation that we might consider moving forward. So thank you, Tawana, for bringing this up and bringing it to my attention. And I hope to work with you in the future on finding solutions to this.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's anything else for any council on this. If not, we'll move on to the next area of new business, public art. Over the years, I've been interested in expanding the public art elements in town. I know that back in 2013, the administration, with council's support, adopted a redevelopment legislation that requires developers through the redevelopment laws to contribute 1% of their projects to public art, up to a maximum of $100,000. And I know that the administration has, with the planning department, has been working on putting into place public art installations, and they have essentially built a significant framework for doing that. I'm more interested, from the council perspective, in seeing if the council and the public are interested in expansions of public art in terms of murals and painted utility boxes, which are common in many of the great towns around the country. And if there is an interest in that, what we can do to encourage it, what we can do to eliminate obstacles to doing that, and so forth. So if there is support from the council on this element, I'd like to create a subcommittee to look into it and to put forth legislation or other items to hopefully encourage more public art.
Hey, Stefan.
Yes, sir.
FYI, the mayor may recall, we did have a movement going on a little while back led by Linda Stamato. And Linda was doing an initiative with reference to murals, and she got pretty far with this. And other things happened, and some things just get lost. But there was some good energy behind this with the and Morris Arts was involved to a certain extent. Maybe what we want to do, if you do put a committee together, I would strongly recommend, just for consistency and to kind of pick up maybe where they left off, to include Linda Stamato in that. That.
Yeah, all right. That sounds good. I have met with recently with Morris Arts and various elements of them, and they're very interested in participating. So I think that's a great contributing element.
Stefan, there's an artist that lives on Miller Road, Katie Dempsey's husband. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I think it's Ken, and I can't remember his last name.
Dan Fenelon.
What?
Dan Fenelon.
Dan Fenelon, yeah, thank you. Have we spoken to them about this? Because I know he's very involved and wants to be involved. He stopped me to talk about it recently, of picking up public art again.
Yes, I have spoken with him, and he's very interested. He did a mural on my camper, which I'm very proud of, and so I think a lot of the people in town in the public art in the art community are excited about the work that the administration has been doing, but I think would also like to see additional sort of opportunities to do it. For example, one of the impediments of doing murals in town is under the 2007 or prior zoning ordinances. a mural is considered a sign, and a sign can't be more than 40 square feet per property. Otherwise, you have to file for a variance, which costs, you know, a couple $1,000 or something to that effect with, you know, lawyers and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, that's one of the small little elements. So basically, well, I would say is an impediment to supporting murals or other public art elements. You know, looking at the code, and speaking with the art community and seeing what opportunities are there, what impediments are there, what we can do to encourage that. You know, I don't think we want to. Well, anyway, so is there interest in any other council members who would like to? Sandy, okay. Anyone else? All right.
I'll join the group if you're looking for a third.
Sure. Okay.
I was on mute, but I was interested.
20. Yeah.
I think Bob's got plenty of other stuff to do. So let's go with Sandy and Tawana.
Stefan, I would also include, if you could, somebody from the parking authority on this.
Okay.
One of the aspects of the parking garages, I believe, in the future is a lot of people are putting art on the garages, and that was a concept that they were entertaining with reference to Lot 10. But then again, you're going to have Linda Smato, and I think she's still on the parking authority, right?
Okay. Yes.
Maybe that's.
I do know that. For example, the M Station project was proposing a artistic cover on their parking garage, and there was some discussion about them using the 1% art element to fund that, and so, you know, I know the administration is considering whether or not that's a reasonable use of that, or if that's sort of an already sort of defined element of their planning board approval, and whether or not you know, use of the funds is reasonable. So, but I appreciate the support from the council, and I look forward to getting some more public art in town. So thank you very much.
If may I make a comment, Council President?
Sure.
So I'm glad Bob brought it up. So we were working hard on this, and what I found through the art world is art means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
Right.
And we got as far as looking at doing murals on the train trestles. You know, the stone walls in the train trestles, a few places in town. And what happened was they couldn't come to a consensus. And we've run into that problem a few times, because art it means a lot to a lot of different people, and it's subjective. And we find that to be still an issue with you know, what one people thinks is art, someone doesn't like it, another person, you know, it gets very I don't know what the word would be, but bear in mind that is one of the issues that we've had.
Acrimonious.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's subjective.
Yes, I've had several conversations with artists who say, well, we don't want, you know, we don't want, you know, unprofessional art. We want professional art. It's like, well, you know, I look at all those great murals all over, you know, Jersey City and everywhere else, and I love that stuff. And you might consider that, you know, unprofessional art, and you know, but we also don't want to spend, you know, thousands of dollars. So figuring out how to frame, you know, the, approvals or at least limitations will be a challenge in that. So
absolutely.
I appreciate the
I look forward to working with you.
Thank you. All right. Anything else from anyone on before we close? If not, appreciate everyone's time, and we will see you on the 23rd.
Motion to adjourn, sir?
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
26th.
26.
26, Council.
26th.
Yeah.
So if everyone can get that out to their constituents, since it is a Monday meeting, and we're not usually having those meetings on Mondays, I would appreciate it.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll post it too.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting is adjourned. Have a wonderful
Thank
evening.
you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Right.